Well, Meg, I thought you were starting this segment, so I paused for you just to make sure, but I'll go ahead and start us off here as we get ready for After GMS. We are so glad to be able to connect with you on Facebook, our Facebook live stream, which is up right now. Something we do every Monday through Friday at 7:45. So we have Megan Maleris, who's working from home. Ed Matthews is busy typing away in the weather garden. And I'm Tracy McCain here in studio holding things down. So Ed Matthews, I guess we'll get started with the forecast.
Hey, that sounds like a great plan because it's a beautiful, beautiful Monday morning in the Piedmont. We're going to see plenty of sunshine today. Another very warm day. Temperatures on our way, not quite as warm as that 84 yesterday. We're on our way to highs around 80, and then clouds roll back in tonight. Little system is going to pass south of the triad tomorrow and tomorrow night. That'll bring some off and on showers. I don't see a lot of rain, but you're going to need the umbrella tomorrow for sure. Now, after our 80-degree high today, we're going to cool it off a little bit. We're going to be in the mid and upper 60s right on through the rest of the week and likely through next weekend. That's well below our normal high of 75 for this time of year. Rain moves out Wednesday morning, Wednesday afternoon through Thursday look nice and dry. Even Friday morning should be dry before some showers move in later Friday afternoon and Friday night. At the moment, keep your fingers crossed. Next weekend, although below normal in the temperature department, it should be dry across the area.
All right, the forecast looks awesome, and it really does lead the way into our first conversation this morning as stay-at-home restrictions begin to ease across the country. A lot of people are going outdoors in public spaces to soak up the sunshine. People are excited about spring and the sun, of course, so that brings up an important question. Is it possible to social distance as it warms up and more people head outdoors? Let us know what you think in the comments on our page right now. And I want you to check this out. In Florida, as you know, the beaches are already open to everyone, including a man dressed as the Grim Reaper. Take a look here. He was dressed in all black, wearing black gloves and carrying a plastic scythe. The attorney dressed up as the Grim Reaper because the character represents death, and he wanted to remind beachgoers of the dangers of gathering in large groups. I wish we had that picture for you. Unfortunately, we can't get it up in time, but it was quite an interesting way for him to get his point across, guys. So what do you think about social distancing in public? Is it possible, especially during the warmer weather? Meg, let's start with you.
Yeah, I think so. I think actually being outside, it's easier to social distance. You just have to be smart about it. I mean, these easing of restrictions, as some states are starting to do, does not give you a free pass to go to the beach with 20 friends and gather around if your state still has restrictions on the number of people who can gather in one place at one time. The beaches are normally big, spread out, keep yourself away, 6 feet away at least from you and people you don't know on the beach, and just be smart about this. I mean, I think we can eventually all get back to some semblance of normalcy as long as we listen to the guidance from our state and federal health leaders and be smart. As Ed has mentioned, personal responsibility is so key in situations like this.
Yeah, absolutely, Ed. And since, you know, Megan brought you in, I think you should go ahead and comment on that. You are very big on social distancing, but also on personal responsibility.
Yeah, it's up to us as individuals. I mean, you know, I've got my own personal game plan, and I'm glad to see that they're wanting to open things back up in stages and things like that. But I tell you what, gang, we're still getting new cases. We're still getting deaths every day. We've got to continue to be careful. So this is not a free pass to say, oh, we can just all get together and crowd around and life is back to normal. I don't know when really life is going to get completely back to normal. I think it is going to be in stages, but with the virus still in full force, gang, we got to still be careful with our health.
Yeah, absolutely. So our control room was able to find the picture of the Grim Reaper on those Florida beaches. This attorney dressed up as the character to kind of give a warning to people on the beaches that if you're out here, I mean, it could bring death is what his message is. And so our question to you this morning is, can people still be in public spaces and social distance and stay safe during this pandemic? So Megan Parrish commented on our Facebook live stream right now. She says, I don't think people can handle it at all. She said they barely get the masks and the gloves right. And also, Jay says if people are concerned, it's not going to be a problem. But he also says, be smart and spread out. So I think that's also one of the messages that, you know, the 6 feet distancing, take an extra few feet if you can, you know, 8 feet. There's nothing that's going to be wrong with you being aware of your surroundings and having appropriate spacing. The last thing you want to do is come in too close a contact with somebody and end up with this deadly virus.
But you know, I think it's something that you have to consciously
absolutely
think about. And I spoke out of turn, and I'm so sorry.
No.
I'm talking on my phone, and I'm talking to you guys as well.
You know, this is a fluid conversation, Ed Matthews. Go ahead.
Am I really back from vacation, or is this just a Monday? Yeah, go ahead. I'd like to hear what Megan has to say.
Oh, no, Ed Matthews, you can always talk whenever you want to. I always defer to you because you have such wisdom on these situations. You can take a situation and just say something that gives us a sense of calm and encouragement. And I want to hear what you have to say about this, Ed, because, you know, people are continuing to say, well, we're ready for these restrictions to be lifted. You know, we're ready for states to lift their stay-at-home orders. We feel like we're ready. And there's this debate about are we or aren't we? But regardless, the situation is what it is. So how do we be smart and be safe?
Well, I think you have to consciously think about it. I say that because I notice that when I'm in the supermarket. I mean, when somebody gets a little close, I back up. And it's like, hey, social distance, you know, not trying to avoid you or anything like that. I do the same thing when I'm out in the park walking Rio, and I see other people doing this. We're coming towards each other. We both spread out as we approach. And you have to consciously think about that because that's not the way our society normally works. We like to physically be around people and communicate closely with people. So it's something that has to always be on your mind. Hey, I'm getting a little bit too close to this person. I need to back off a little bit.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I kind of chuckled a little bit by Lynette Oliver's comment that she put on our Facebook page right now. She said, y'all don't even know how to social distance in Walmart. You know what? Sometimes you just have to give it to us the way it is. I mean, I have been in a situation recently at the grocery store where someone was too close to me, despite the markings on the floor and all the notices that are up. And I might be hyper sensitive about it because I'm in the news media, so I'm trying to practice what I preach, and I'm always saying, you know, 6 feet apart. So it's possible that this person just didn't know what the situation was, but I, you know, kindly said, sir, the markings are on the floor. Can we please abide by the rules? And he said, what rules? And I was like, oh my goodness. So, you know, there are people who are not in tune with what's happening right now. And I wasn't going to get into a conversation about that, but I did say, you know, oh, you know, the pandemic is still going on. So I'm going to step over here, and I guess you just have to step back there. And he's like, okay. So, I mean, it was a fine conversation, but it made me realize, you know, either I'm hypersensitive about what's going on because I feel like I'm in it, you know, in the news media kind of giving these warnings every day, or there are just people who just really don't get it. And that's also a possibility. So kind of interesting. All right, guys, thanks for weighing in on that conversation. We have another conversation in just a little bit, but we also want to make sure you're updated on the news. So Megan, get us started.
All right, yeah, we have some headlines to get you caught up on. First, facts, not fear about coronavirus. The number of confirmed coronavirus cases has passed the 3.5 million mark worldwide, with nearly 250,000 deaths. But here in North Carolina, health leaders say the curve is flattening. In a televised virtual town hall from the Lincoln Memorial, President Trump said he thinks a vaccine will be available by the end of the year. U.S. public health officials have said a vaccine is likely a year to 18 months away. Taking a numbers in our state. Tracy, I believe you have those.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Statewide, there are 11,664 cases right now, and this number includes people who have recovered in the triad. Guilford County has 439 cases. Forsyth County is reporting 200 67. We will have an updated count this morning around 11, and we'll be sure to get you those numbers during the WFMY News 2 at noon show. Now, the state is developing new ways to track coronavirus cases. The health department posted a map organizing cases by zip code. That way, you're able to see how many cases and how many deaths are in your area. It's also color coordinated, so the darker the blue, the more cases there are in that region. If you're interested in finding this map, we have a link to it on our website.
Wearing a mask is no longer a suggestion, it's a requirement at 2 major grocery stores. Starting today, Costco and Whole Foods are telling customers to cover up their noses and mouths before they can come inside and shop. Costco's policy starts today. As we mentioned, both stores have implemented numerous policies to encourage social distancing, including asking customers to stay 6 feet apart. If you need a morning pick-me-up, check out this story. Starbucks is allowing grab-and-go orders at some cafes starting today. The popular coffee chain has been serving up its lattes, frappuccinos, and cold brews via drive-thru. But starting now, some locations will be able to do grab-and-go orders. Starbucks says only a limited number of customers will be allowed inside at a time, and seating areas will remain closed. Social distancing markers are placed throughout the store's floors. All right, let's get to some reasons to smile this morning. Amid this pandemic, we can find the good, and a lot of that good comes from hope, from some of the recovery numbers we've been on top of. So listen to this. More than 1 million people have recovered from the virus worldwide. That's according to Johns Hopkins University. The U.S. is leading with the most worldwide recoveries. More than 153,000 have recovered across our country. A lot of people have been asking, Tracy, let's focus on the recovery numbers. They are much larger than the number of people who have not recovered from that. That's not to say we can discount the deaths, and our heart goes out to everybody who knows someone who's been affected by this, knows someone who has died from this, knows a frontline worker who is putting his or her own life at risk. But it is positive news to see some word of recovery and that the number is so great there.
Yeah, I'm thankful that coronavirus hasn't reached anyone in my family or my friend circle, but I watch the coverage and I know what it's like in those states like New York and Connecticut and California and Florida, some states that are even opening up right now. So I see what's happening and my heart goes out to everyone. Even in our state, the numbers of cases were far more than I ever imagined. I remember the first weeks of reporting this and saying, oh, there have been no deaths in our state, and kind of feeling good about that. And now reporting, the hundreds of deaths in our state, it's certainly saddening, but it's realistic to think, we do have a number of people who are dying, but we also have a number of people who are recovering, and that does give us much needed hope in this fight. So Ed Matthews, I know you are on top of the numbers as well. It feels, it gives you some sense of relief knowing that people can fight and win. Yeah,
well, it seems like every day, there's some more bad news regarding this. And I think it's very healthy and it's very important. And I know that we do this here at Channel 2, that we do report the success stories, because there are, as you ladies have just reported, many success stories with the recovery. So it kind of helps to balance it out a little bit. I mean, you take the average person, I know they're sick of it. Being in the news business, we get an extra double, triple dose of it every day. So when we can have moments of good news, I think it's great.
Yeah, I appreciated that last week, being off and being home with my kids. I was able to completely unplug. I turned off all my notifications. I didn't even know what the weather was day by day for the week. I just literally took that time to be at home and really appreciate my family and all my blessings and my health and our safety. And it just really set me back for a minute, not to be in this COVID-19 conversation and to have a moment to be just a normal viewer of what's happening and not necessarily someone who has to be updated 24/7 about what's going on, because it wears on you, on our emotional state, on our attitudes. I mean, it is definitely a huge burden to carry as someone in the media. And Megan, I know you feel the same way. I mean, we do what we do for a reason and we wouldn't change it, but we do have to unplug sometimes.
Of course. Of course, yeah, everybody. We're only human. We have to take a step back too and really put this in perspective and remember our blessings. That's why I love doing our Friday segment on GMS about Tell Me Something Good, because it really forces us to sit back and reflect and try to find the good in our day-to-day lives, whether it's something big, whether it's something small, whether it's just calling up a family member on Zoom and saying hi and checking up on somebody. You're totally right, Tracy. Family is so important, and especially during these times, we really need to make an effort to stay connected however we can and try to get through this, because we will come out on the other end of this. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, and we'll get there soon.
Yeah, there are a lot of people talking about that hope and that recovery on our Facebook live stream right now. A few comments. Isaac said, I'm praying for coronavirus to be over. I wish there was a cure. He also says recovering for Guilford County. So if you are recovering, Isaac, congratulations. That's exciting. Or if you know someone, we are certainly pulling for you during this time. Lynette says she's glad to hear some stores are requiring masks and gloves and wants everyone to stay safe. But also, Faye says, I love to hear about people who have recovered, because she says it gives people hope. And that's really the best part of this situation, is that we can find hope even in all these uncertain times, that we'll get through this. I remember, guys, think about this. It was like mid-March, right during the NCAA tournament. We're now like a month and a half removed from that. Yes, this is still the big conversation, but we've learned a little bit about coronavirus. There are companies working on a vaccine and a cure. So, I guess progress, it doesn't always happen overnight, but it does come.
Got to be patient.
Patient, that's a great word for that. Well, I am expecting, and I'm not being patient about sunshine, Ed Matthews. I'm expecting another 80-degree beautiful day on tap for today.
Oh, yes, indeed. I tell you what, it's going to be a great day. Enjoy the sunshine and the warm weather, because after today, we're going to kind of get a cool down, and for the rest of the weekend, likely through next weekend, temperatures below normal. But we'll be up around 80 today. A system heads our way. We'll bring some off and on showers Tuesday and Tuesday night. They'll move out early on Wednesday, and I think the rest of Wednesday right on through Thursday, and even likely early on Friday, a dry pattern. And then another system will bring us a chance of showers later Friday afternoon and Friday night. At the moment, next weekend, although those temperatures remain a bit below our normal of 75, with that 64 on Saturday and 67 on Sunday, it looks as though next weekend is going to be nice and dry for the Piedmont.
So in short, enjoy today, because as it does every May in North Carolina, it changes.
Yes.
Day by day. All right, thank you so much for joining us on After GMS. Again, join us at 7:45 Monday through Friday on Facebook Live. Invite your friends, let them know what we're doing here, our casual conversations where we really like you to weigh in. We want to get as many people involved in these conversations as possible. All right, guys, stay safe. May the 4th be with you if you're a Star Wars fan, and we'll see you next time. Take care.